Hey, Kathy. I'm trying to figure out how to be able, because my computer is what is recording this, and it's all the way across my island, so my eyes can absolutely not see that. So I had my iPad sitting here so that hopefully I can actually see chats. Karen, welcome, Karen. That's exciting. So keep checking in as you come in. Is it chilly in Georgia? We got 6 inches of snow. Did you guys get any snow? It's pretty exciting. Me too. I hope it goes okay. I've done one live before. It was a while ago. It was when I did the Lean and Green 101. And I've done Zoom stuff, like that's different. So I can see you guys. I can't see you guys, but I can, like I can on Zoom, which I kind of miss. So Louise is here, Tammy's here, Connie's here. Cool. We're supposed to get some more something maybe on Thursday, so we'll see. I'm going to try to start as close to 6 o'clock as I can because I have so much to try to cover. And I'm going to try, thank you, Tammy. I'm going to try really hard to keep it to an hour. And so there's going to be a little television magic going on. So I know that several people, I had posted the recipes ahead of time in a shopping list in case anybody wanted to actually shop and cook along with me. There's going to be a little bit of fast forwarding, sort of. I've pre-done all my ingredients just to save time. So that's going to kind of happen. Willia, welcome. It's very exciting. Louise, what part of North Carolina are you from? My sister lives in Winston-Salem. But not too far. And we're right at 6 o'clock, so I think I'm going to go ahead and just kind of get going because this is all being recorded, and if people miss parts of it, they can just watch the recording, as I know a lot of people will do. Cool. All right. I have a good friend who lives in Raleigh. All right. So as I always start my videos, welcome to my channel. My name is Elizabeth. If you're new here, you guys could probably all say this with me. I am living in the light, and I've been documenting a 160-pound weight loss, which I met that goal at the beginning of November. And so for the last 9-10 weeks or so, I have been maintaining, and that's all been very exciting. And I'll talk a little bit about that as I go on. But as I have been going through my channel, as I've been making content for my channel, of course, now that I'm not actually eating Optavia fuelings, and I'll talk about that later, now that I've met my goal, more of what I'm sharing is just my healthier lifestyle, the choices that I'm making, and can everybody hear me? Because Lilia said no sound. I'm assuming, okay, all right, so maybe she just needs to turn her sound up. So most of what I'm sharing now are just healthy recipes, just motivational kind of things that I'm learning along the way. I am also, as you've seen, sharing some things that are just day in the life stuff for me, typical things that I cook or bake. I love to bake, and so I want to be able to share some of those things. So those people who are in weight loss, yes, there will be some videos of things that are not for you. And I'm sorry about that, but that's just how I am going to grow my channel and try to provide content. Because I don't eat Optavia Fuelings anymore, I don't have those to actually show. So the Fun with Fuelings videos, those are all going to stay there. There's over 60 of them there. There's lots of great ideas, and those will never go away. But I do love sharing recipes. I love sharing what I'm learning. I love sharing food knowledge and food skills as well. So I will continue to do that on my channel. If you have not already subscribed, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. Also, if you would like this video, thumbs up, share it, the little hearts, all kinds of good things. Leave lots of comments. That's always helpful for me too as well. So I love to see those. I am almost to 5,000 subscribers, as I said in my reality check earlier today. In the grand scheme of all of the YouTubers out there, I certainly am very small potatoes. They all have, thousands and thousands of subscribers. And I'm happy to be 113 away as of before I started this. I was 113 subscribers away from hitting 5,000, so I'm really excited about that. When I hit 5,000, I'm going to do another live event, and I'm going to give away something big. I'm not sure what it is that I'm going to give away, but I'm going to give something away. As I said in my reality check, I do make a little bit off of YouTube. I make maybe $50 a month. It's just not a lot, but I would like to still be able to give back. And so tonight, I am actually going to be giving away 3 items. So my friend Kate, are you here? Not sure if she's here yet or not. Hopefully she'll show up. If she doesn't come, I'm going to have to do it a different way. What I would like for you to do is I'm going to do 3 drawings. And Kate has told me she was going to be here and she was going to use a random generator for me. And she was just going to take the names of the people who are here. So what she needs is for you just to comment your first name, last initial, and your location. And then what I will do is once we have the drawing, as we do the drawings, we're going to do them live. So I'm sorry for those who are watching recording, you won't be able to get in on the giveaways. But what she'll do is she will announce your name, and then if you will just go to my email, it's in the description box, or you can just message me on another one and say I won the prize. And then what I will do is I'll get your address and I'll ship it to you. So the things that I'm giving away, the first thing that I'm going to give away is a mini utensil set. This is well loved and well used. It's got like 3 little spatulas, a little like pancake flipper, and a little silicone whisk. Love it. This is my iron flask thermos. I use this every single day. I use it for oatmeal, but when I was on Optavia, I used it for oatmeal. I used it for soups and chili and pastas, and it's a fantastic tool, and it stays hot for a long time. And then the other thing that I'm going to give away is not mine, but a brand new electric kettle, which I cannot live without this either. I use this every day. Not only do I use it for tea, but I use it for water for my oatmeal and all kinds of stuff. So it is well used. And so I will be giving those away throughout the course of the night. So again, comment with your first name, your last initial, and the state you're living in case we have 2 people that have your first name. Also, if you comment with any questions that you might have that you want me to answer, I know several people had given me questions prior, and so I have those worked in, but I just want to get those questions asked and so we can jump in. Now, these recipes, as I said, are for anyone. I will share with you not only the lean and green counts. Spoiler alert, they're all 1 lean, 3 greens, and 3 condiments. I will also share with you the macros for each of those as well. So if you are on maintenance, if you are just watching calories or carbs or whatever it is that you're doing and you're counting those kind of macros, I will provide those for you as well. So the first, I'm going to do 3 pizzas tonight. I'm going to do what's traditionally a chicken crust pizza. I couldn't get ground chicken, so I'm using ground turkey, but it was the same basic fat ratio, so that's what I'm using. So you can use chicken or turkey. And that is going to be a veggie pizza, not a vegetarian pizza because it's got chicken or turkey in it, but it will be topped with veggies. I am going to do a cauliflower crust supreme pizza. I think in one of my posts I said pork and mushroom, but I've kind of changed the recipe a little bit. So it's going to have, and instead of doing pork, I'm actually using venison, but you could use pork. Actually, the calorie count that I gave was the pork recipe because that's the one that I usually use. And venison has less fat. So really, the macros on the one that I make is going to be different, but I'm not going to worry about that. And then I am going to do a zucchini crust green pizza. That one will be vegetarian, not vegan, but vegetarian. And it's green because it's just green vegetables. And so it's a really good recipe. I've made it many times. I've made it with both ricotta cheese and cottage cheese. And I'm going to use cottage cheese tonight. And so I'm excited to share those things with you. So the first thing that I'm going to make is the chicken crust pizza. Now, I already have, my oven is already preheated to 400. I took care of that ahead of time because I wanted to make sure that I had a good hot oven. I also have a baking sheet already lined with parchment, and I'm just going to spray it with some avocado oil spray. It's really important that you do that step. I had made these crusts before, and I forgot to spray the parchment, and it's not a good thing. So in my bowl, I am going to add 8 ounces of the ground turkey, 1 egg, just one whole egg. It's like I've never been in the kitchen before. And I have a towel down here. My recipe's right here. 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese and 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasonings. Now, I'm going to say this several times. If you are on 5-in-1, this is your recipe. If you are in maintenance, if you are just like keto or just trying to watch your calories, whatever, you could add additional seasonings if you wanted to add some garlic, if you wanted to add salt and pepper. It really doesn't need it, but if you wanted to add some additional seasonings here, you absolutely could do that. But for those who are on 5-in-1, since you are limited in your number of condiments, this is your limit. So 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. If you'd rather do garlic instead of Italian seasoning, you could do that. And then you're just going to take a spatula, a spoon, a fork, or whatever, and just mix it until everything is really well combined. And again, so it's a 1 whole egg. It's 1/2 pound of the ground turkey or ground chicken, and it should be 90 to 94% lean. So it does have some fat in it. So don't get the fat-free. If you get the fat-free ground turkey, your crust will be extremely dry and tasteless. I promise you, because I've tried that. Now, the first time that I did that the first time I made this crust, and I absolutely did not like it. I thought it was terrible. But doing it with 90 to 94% lean meat is so much better. So I've got my chicken. Move this out of the way so you can see. I've got my turkey here, and all I'm going to do is just mush it out into a fairly thin circle. It's going to be very large. Now, this one recipe is actually 2 servings. So the other 2 pizzas are single serving pizzas. This one is for 2. So you can either share it with someone, or you can save half of it and reheat it as leftovers the next day. Take it your lean and green the next day. For those of you who are on 4 and 2, you might have half of it for one of your lean and greens and half of it for the other. But you want to try to get it as even as you can. Take your time. I can't edit out all of my silences here. When I do other videos, and when I get quiet, I can edit all those things out, and I can't do that tonight. And I try to also make sure that the edges that it's fairly round, that it doesn't have a bunch of like really thin, straggly edges to it. And again, let me just remind you if you, Sally, oh no, you're in Texas, never mind. I know a Sally Carson who lives in Tennessee. And I was like, is that the same Sally? But it's not. All right. I'm going to slide this into the oven. Then this is going to go in my 400-degree oven, and it's going to bake for 20 minutes. And fortunately, I have 2 ovens. So that one's going to go in the top oven. And then I am going to grab another bowl, and I'm going to make my other 2 crusts. Let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to also keep an eye on the time because hopefully I have myself timed really well to try to get everything through in an hour. So next up, I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to move this one out of the way momentarily. It's all the behind the scenes. All right. So cauliflower crust. So let's talk about cauliflower crust. The chicken crust is going to have some texture to it. It is going to be firm. It's going to have some bite, some chew to it. And that's because you're using a protein. You're using meat as your crust. When you make the cauliflower crust and the zucchini crust, people have also used broccoli. If you're using a vegetable, I mean, think about what happens to vegetables when they cook. They get soft. They only get crunchy when you fry them, and we're not frying. So the vegetable crusts, and that's one thing that a lot of people say, like, well, I make cauliflower crust and it's too soggy. Well, you might not have cooked it long enough. You might have started with frozen cauliflower, or you are just expecting something that you're not going to get from vegetables. So, this is my favorite color too. This green right here, I have glasses in this color, like eyeglasses with this color. It is my ultimate favorite color. So what you do for the cauliflower crust is you take raw cauliflower, buy a head of cauliflower, buy a bag of raw cauliflower florets, put it in your food processor, and pulse it until it is really fine. You can see this. It is like, it's not as light and fluffy as sand, but it is small little pieces. If you buy cauliflower rice at Costco, or like the frozen cauliflower rice is pretty chunky. And you want this to be super fine. And what I have is 100 grams of cauliflower rice. Now, when I typically make this cauliflower crust, I make multiple crusts at one time. I will buy 2 heads of cauliflower. I can usually get 7 crusts out of a head of cauliflower. So I'll buy 2 heads, make 14 crusts, and they go in the freezer. So this is a bag of what I have left there. I think there might be 2 crusts left in here. Maybe there's 3 in here. Oh, there's 3 crusts in here. And all I do is I just make them. You'll see I can put 2 on a baking sheet. And I have 2 racks in one oven and 1 smaller oven at the top. I can bake 3 sheet pans, so I can bake 6 crusts at the same time. I flip them all, bake them, and then I repeat the process, and then I have to do 1 more tray to get 14. So I bake them all, they all cool off, they all just stack one right on top of each other, nothing in between them. Throw them all in a Ziploc bag, throw it in the freezer, and then when I get ready to have a cauliflower crust pizza, I take out my bag and they pop apart and they thaw in probably 20 minutes. So super easy to make these. I'm only making 1 tonight, just obviously because of time. So 100 grams of fresh cauliflower, not frozen, not cooked, fresh raw cauliflower. That's really, really important. I also am going to use 3 tablespoons of egg beaters or egg whites. So a lot of people don't realize this. This is egg beaters, which you can buy at the grocery store. You can also buy egg whites, but if you look at the ingredients, this has egg whites and basically color in it. It does have food starch, less than 1% of like beta carotene. Some of the There's one brand, and it's not the Egg Beaters brand, it might be the Walmart brand, that is, all it is egg whites and beta carotene, which is what makes it yellow. So don't worry or think that you have to get something special. You can just use plain egg whites. Either one works. So you got the Egg Beaters now. Most cauliflower crust recipes will tell you to add cheese here, but personally, I like my cheese on my pizza and not in my pizza. So I tried a long time ago, back when I first did my cauliflower crust recipe. It's over a year ago that I did. I think in October of 2022. I think. I did 3 different crusts. I did a chicken crust that I hated. I did the cauliflower crust with cheese and the cauliflower crust without cheese. If you do the cauliflower crust and you add the cheese, you'll have to deduct that from your lean. I choose to just use the cauliflower and the egg beaters. And so, almost forgot to spray. That would be tragic. Also, if commercials show up, because they will, unfortunately, you should be able to skip them pretty quickly. Sorry about that, but that's just the nature of YouTube. So I've sprayed my parchment. I'm gonna do my cauliflower crust and my zucchini crust on the same pan to save space. And so I've got all of my cauliflower and egg beaters on here. And I'm just gonna pack this out, again, into a thin circle. I make it a little bit more oblong than circles, especially since I know I've got to get 2 crusts on this pan. But I do want to get it as thin as possible. The thinner you can get it, the firmer the crust will be. So if your crust is too thick, that's one of the reasons why it's a little bit soggy, because remember, vegetables. So you want to make sure that you get it as thin as you can. And again, I always try to pull in the edges a little bit so that the edges don't get too thin. As uniform thickness as you can. And try not to have any holes in the middle of the crust. So that looks pretty good. And you can see it's not really round. It's a little more oval shape. Sorry, I should be doing it over here so that you can see it. So I'm going to let that sit there for just a second, and I'm going to now do the zucchini crust. I'm just going to use the same bowl because egg beaters. And my zucchini crust is actually going to use a little bit of cheese. So this morning I shredded up zucchini. I actually shredded up using the fine shredder on my food processor. The cauliflower, by the way, I just pulse with the regular blade in my food processor. So I finally shredded up 3 zucchini. I made a zucchini crust. I've got this, and I probably have enough zucchini in my refrigerator shredded to do at least one more crust, so you probably can get 1 crust out of each zucchini, and it's 120 grams of the shredded zucchini. I put it in a wire mesh strainer. I took just a sprinkle of salt over that and kind of tossed it a little bit so the salt got in there just a little bit, and then I let it sit all day and let the water drain out as much as I could. Every once in a while, I would come along with a spatula and I would smush the water out because you want to get it as dry as you possibly can. It really is easy. It really is. Once you do it a few times, Rebecca, it really is actually pretty simple. So, zucchini. Again, I have 3, make sure I'm doing this right, 3 tablespoons of egg beaters again. So that goes in there. This one is going to have a little bit of cheese. So I have 1/3 of a cup of mozzarella cheese. And what I forgot to put on my list, but I know I'm not. That's right. So just those 3 things. So this one does have a little bit of cheese. And this is going to take just a second to get that mixed up. Rachel Ray, I am not, but you know. If the Food Network wants somebody to do healthy recipes, they can hit me up. I would not be very good at that. Anyway, I'm going to do the same process here. Smush this out into a circle as thin as I can get it. Remember to come over here. All right, so first of all, totally forgot to set the timer for that, but I put it in there about 15 minutes ago. So I'm going to set one timer for 5 minutes. Right. Yeah, it was about 10 after. Maybe it was 15 after. I'll see what it looks like. And then I'm going to set this timer for 20 minutes. And I'm going to slide this into the oven now. Yay! All right. Get some of my mess cleaned up so that it's out of the way. And grab my notes. And so I wanted to talk about the cauliflower crust and the zucchini crust is very versatile. I take that cauliflower crust mixture and I use it to make taco shells, to make like sandwich rounds, or I use it as, when I spread it out in a big circle, I also use that sometimes as a wrap. And to be honest, I have been in maintenance, as I said, for like 10 weeks. And I still eat this cauliflower crust. I love it. It's really good. It's tasty. I don't need the carbs of regular pizza crust. Oh no. I don't know how to, let me see. I know that I created that other one. I created that one and then I couldn't figure out how to get it to start. So um, hopefully, Gail just texted me. So hopefully she will get everybody to come over. Let me see. Because I don't know if I can get into that other one or not. Let me see. I'm not very good at this. All right. All right, I don't know. Hopefully they'll figure it out. Thank you, Rebecca. Oh, yay, Kate made it here. Good. Because I'm going to do a drawing in just a minute. Do you have, you have 18, so anybody who has not commented with their name, their last initial, and their location, go ahead and do that because I'm going to do a drawing in just a minute. So the cauliflower and the zucchini crust, if you make 3 circles, 2 or 3 circles, you can use those as taco shells or as little sandwich buns if you want to do it that way. Totally delicious. Both of them work really well. And what I wanted to show you was I pre-made crust so you could see what they look like. And if I run out of time and I need to, I'll just use these instead of those. So this is the cauliflower crust. And you can see it's very flexible, but it's not soggy. And once you bake it again, because you pre-bake it, right? You do 22 minutes, you flip it, and you bake it for another 5 minutes or so. You're going to bake it again, and it really is a little bit firmer. This is the zucchini crust. You can see it's a little bit firmer than the cauliflower crust because it has the cheese in it. Very delicious. And this is the chicken crust, and this is for 2. It's much thicker, much denser, and you only get half of one of those for your pizza if you are on 5 and 1. If you're just watching your weight, you can eat the whole thing if you want to. All right, so it is time for us to do a giveaway. So our first giveaway, and Kate's going to do the random drawing, is for the mini utensil, the mini silicone utensil set. And I will write your name down. And as soon as she lets me know who won. And if you are the winner, again, just email me your contact information, your address, because I'll just send it from Amazon to you. And yeah, so Kate, whenever you get a chance to hit that button and let me know who the winner is. And while you're doing that, I'm going to check on my chicken crust. I'm going to give 5 more minutes. So I think I was actually off on my time there. Kate, do you got a winner for me? I'm going to keep on going and she can comment it in the chat. I was going to answer a couple of questions that I have seen. The first one was, what is a typical maintenance day? I am very, yay, Lisa. I am very much a creature of habit, and that works best for me. I feel like as I am in maintenance, I'm really just trying to learn the ropes and continue to retrain my brain to eat in a healthy way. And so for me, eating similar things every day is the most helpful for me. So the very first thing that I usually eat, um, um, the first thing that I usually eat is yogurt. I like the Oikos 000. That's the kind that I prefer, and I get it from Costco. And then I typically have strawberries. 100 grams of strawberries is typically what I have. Keep in mind that my macros are going to be different from yours, depending on how much you weigh, how tall you are, how old you are. Like there's a bunch of factors in there. And so for me, I try to go between 1,300 and 1,500 calories a day. The TEE that I did on the Optavia site said I should eat 1,800 calories a day, and there's no way that I can eat that many calories. If I ever jump above 1,500 calories, then my weight does go up, and I have to back down below 1,500 calories. So I know that's not right. So I stick 1,300 to 1,500 calories. I do about 100 grams of protein a day, no more than 150 grams of carbs and about 50 grams of fat. That's a good balance for me, and I feel like I'm able to be pretty steady. Kathy, yay! She won the mini silicone utensil set. Great. So yogurt and strawberries is first. Oatmeal in my thermos and blueberries is second. 100 grams of blueberries, a third of a cup of oatmeal. I've posted this many times along with the macros, so you can go look at a post to see it there. And then the lunchtime is typically a salad, lots of romaine lettuce, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes. Sometimes I throw peppers on there. Some lean protein, like I will buy the pulled chicken at Costco, the rotisserie chicken breast. They pull all the meat and sell just the chicken breast. So I'll do that. I'll do tuna. Sometimes I grill my own chicken, or I'll do venison sausage that we make ourselves, and just a little bit of oil and vinegar, or I'll do some ranch or my vinaigrette. It just kind of depends on what I have in the fridge, but some kind of dressing. So I'm getting a balance of protein, fat, and carbs in my lunchtime fueling, and I still call them fuelings. My mid-afternoon is typically, it's either an apple and almond butter, or I might have an orange and a string cheese. Sometimes I have cottage cheese and pineapple. Sometimes I have bell pepper and hummus or whipped feta. So those are the kind of things. I try to make sure that the calories are just below 200 for that one. And then I have a typical lean and green for dinner. Anywhere from 250 to 400 calories is a typical lean and green meal for me. I don't necessarily count the condiments anymore, but I do make sure that I have enough protein and I have plenty of vegetables. Sometimes I have more than 3 greens, but that's okay. My body can handle the extra calories. So that's typically what I do for that. And then my nighttime, my last fueling, it could be a protein bar. I like the peanut butter, organic peanut butter balls that you get at Costco. I do those every once in a while. I've made those maple oat cookies that I posted a recipe for. I make the Kodiak waffles into pancakes or waffles. Let me turn my chicken crust over. Yep, perfect. Flip that over, and then that's going to cook for another 5 minutes. And I've still got 15 minutes on that other one, so I'm probably going to end up making pizzas with these crusts over here. So I make the waffles or pancakes, and I've also made my own jam using about 12 cups of berries and 3 cups of sugar. So it's much lower in sugar, and you just kind of bring it to a boil and let it boil for a few minutes, and then cool it off. And I don't like put it in jars and put it on the shelf. I just freeze 2 containers, and then 1 container goes in the fridge. And that's like a low sugar. There's only about 17 carbs in a tablespoon, so that's 17 calories in a tablespoon. So I will do that. Sometimes I use some light cream cheese. That's really good too. So that's typically what a typical day is for me in maintenance. Someone also asked, what is the hardest part of maintenance? And I think it's just the mindset and realizing that it's okay to eat the things that I couldn't eat while I was on 5-in-1, or some of those things. It's the reminder that I've done the work and I know how to take the weight off. And so if I want to have a piece of bread, it's not going to be the end of the world. There are things like bread that I'm very cautious about anyway, and I will allow myself to have a piece of bread once a week, and that satisfies my bread cravings and keeps me fit and true. Let's see. Oh, cool, Cheryl. The temperature, so I cook the crusts are all cooked at 400 degrees, and the chicken crust goes for about 20 minutes, and then you flip it and cook it for another 5. They all basically are about that same. The cauliflower and the zucchini you can probably do for 22, 23 minutes, and then flip it and do it for another 5. Just kind of keep an eye on it. It's really, it's actually pretty easy to do. All right, so since that's going to have a little bit of time, I need to go grab one more sheet pan. I'm going to do the chicken pizza. And this is a crust that I already cooked. So that's been in my refrigerator, but I'm going to show you how to do the chicken crust so that when that one comes out, I can slide that one in. So this pizza is my veggie pizza, and I'm starting with a half of a cup of my marinara sauce. Putting things in terrible places. A half a cup of the marinara sauce. This is my homemade. You all have probably seen the videos for it, and I'm going to spread this out all the way to the edges. It's a lot of sauce. And you probably could get away with less sauce and then do more veggies, because this half a cup, and I'm going to take some of this off because it's really a lot. What I would do is I'm rethinking this now and thinking, you could do a quarter of a cup of sauce and then add a few more veggies, like a half of a green of veggies, and that would probably be enough. All right, so the sauce goes on, and then I have 30 grams of fresh spinach. This is where your food scale really comes in handy. And again, I pre-measured all of this stuff just to save time for today. I have, and you can do this however you want, but I have a half of a cup of mushrooms. Now, I have pre-cooked my mushrooms. And what I do when I get mushrooms is I slice them up, or I buy them sliced, and I put them, hang on. my chicken crust. So I put them in a dry skillet. They don't need any oil. They don't need any spray. Just put them in a very dry skillet. I'm so sorry about that. Sorry, Cindy. It will be posted very shortly after, I think it's almost immediate after it's live. So mushrooms go in a dry skillet and just let them cook. They'll start to release their liquid and just keep sauteing them. And once all of the moisture has evaporated, then they're fully cooked. Then I am going to put on, I forgot the cheese. I should have put the cheese on earlier. But this is a half a cup of mozzarella cheese. That's 2 ounces. Did you know that when somebody says a cup of cheese, it does not weigh 8 ounces? A cup of cheese only weighs 4 ounces. A lot of people don't know that. We've talked about before how ounces are both a measurement of volume and mass. And I'm not a math or a science teacher, but I do know. All right, and then I'm going to top it with 2 tablespoons of shredded Parmesan cheese. I look at the label, the nutrition label of my cheese, and I look for one that has no more than 6 grams of fat. And so there are lots of them out there that you can find. So here, this one's done. This one is going to go in the oven for about 10 minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to set the timer this time. And then I'll do the other 2. All right, let me grab a... this. Get this on a plate. That's really hot. Now I'll throw those 2 crusts down. And since they're already cooked, I'm not going to worry about spraying the pan. They don't need to be sprayed now because they're already cooked. So before I do these pizzas, let's go ahead and do another drawing. So really quickly, yeah, if you have already given your name, first name, last initial, and your state, then you're still on the wheel. She's just gonna spin again. If you haven't done that, do that. The next thing that I'm gonna give away is an iron flask. It's a 16-ounce fruit jar. You can't have mine. I'll give you a brand new one. So she's gonna draw a name for that. And if your name gets drawn, please just email me your mailing address, first, last name, and mailing address, and I will get it sent to you. So as soon as she gives us our winner, we're going to go on and make the cauliflower crust pizza. And for this one, I am going to start with 2 tablespoons of my sauce instead of a half a cup. That was a lot. I think a quarter of a cup for that would have been enough. I always do 2 tablespoons because 2 tablespoons of the sauce counts as a condiment. And I already have 2 greens in my crust, and I want to put greens on my pizza. So there's that. And I am going to add to this, how many ounces do I have here? I'm going to add a half of a cup of mozzarella. So that's, again, 2 ounces of low moisture, part skim mozzarella. And then I'm going to add 3 ounces. Now you could do ground pork, you could do ground turkey, ground chicken, ground beef. I have ground venison because it's free for me because my husband is a hunter. So, and it's super good. We process it all ourselves, so that's all that I know exactly what's in it, and that goes on there. Now you can do a half of a cup of vegetables. You could do a half a cup of peppers or a half a cup of mushrooms. So I did this to show you, this is what a half a cup of cooked peppers looks like. This is a half a cup of cooked mushrooms. If you were on 5-in-1, you could do 1 of these, or you could do half of the peppers and half of the mushrooms. If you are on maintenance or you are just watching your calories, you can, there's no restrictions for how many vegetables you can have. But I'm going to do half of the peppers. It really is plenty. And half of the mushrooms. Roughly half. And I like the peppers as well. I saute peppers in a dry skillet. And I cut them up, put them in the skillet, and just saute them. They get a little blistery, but that's really good. And then I have 1 tablespoon, because I have 1 condiment left, and so half of it is going to be Parmesan, 1 tablespoon of the reduced fat Parmesan, and maybe a half a teaspoon of red, or a quarter teaspoon of red pepper flakes. It's really not even a full half of a condiment, but it's enough for me, and that's going on there. Incidentally, I'm making 3 pizzas today. I will eat parts of all 3 of them to kind of equal 1 meal for me, but I did want to be able to try them for you. All right, my green pizza is my fun pizza. So let me move this stuff out of the way. And what I have, this is my little handy chopper. If you've ever seen me talk about this before, I've had this since I got married. It was a wedding gift, and it is a treasured little thing, and I'll be very sad if it one day goes by the wayside. I am going to put in here a 4-ounce container of cottage cheese. Lisa, this is for you. Lisa's the cottage cheese queen. Honestly, Lisa, whenever I think of cottage cheese, I think of you. All right, so I'm going to put that in there, and I want this to get nice and creamy. Sorry about that. So this goes into the bowl. It's the one item that I didn't prep. You know, when I very first started my YouTube channel, somebody commented on one of my videos one time that I talked too much. And then somebody commented one time that I needed to have my my stuff ready, like I was unprepared. So I work really hard. I do listen to the comments. I don't know about I talk too much. Isn't that kind of the point of a YouTube channel? All right, so my cottage cheese is really creamy. It's not lumpy at all. If you are not a fan of cauliflower crust, of cottage cheese, you probably will like this because there's no lumps. All right, I'm gonna flip my crust over, and they're gonna pop back in for just about 5 minutes. Oh, and that zucchini crust is so green and so pretty. You see how green that is? Look at how green that is. Beautiful. All right, so that's going to go for 5 minutes. And that's got 1.5 minutes left. So this will be perfect. All right, so that goes in there. I have 30 grams. This is frozen spinach that I thawed earlier today and squeezed all. Again, it sat in a strainer pretty much all day. And I kept squeezing all of the water out. The more water you can squeeze out, the less water you have in your final product, and the less likelihood you will have of it being all soggy. I'm going to add in the other third of a cup, I think. I did a third of a cup. Yeah, I did a third of a cup in the crust, and then a third of a cup goes in the mixture there. And then I have 2 tablespoons of Parmesan and a little bit of red pepper flakes. You guys know I don't have a dishwasher, right? I got all these dishes to wash. It's going to be a challenge. All right, so that's all mixed up. And I'm going to put this on top of my zucchini crust. I'm going to let that just sit there for a second. It's going to beep at me again. That's all right. And then I'm just going to spread this mixture out all over this crust. And I'm going to bump the temperature of this top oven up to 450. I'm going to pull out the chicken pizza. And as soon as, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw this in here. This is going to bake for about 12 to 15 minutes, maybe closer to 15. I was really hoping that I was going to be done at 7 o'clock, but you know, that's not happening. All right. So here is the chicken crust pizza, if you can see it. I'll try to do that, you can see it. I'm going to let it cool off for a minute, and then I'm going to cut it so that you can see it cut, and answer a couple of questions, and then we'll do one more drawing and a taste test. So somebody asked about transitioning from, like how to transition from knowing what to eat for lean greens to macros. The best advice I can give you is to find an app that works for you that you can use to log your food, and find one that will determine the macros in the food that you're eating. So many times I have said, first of all, the first thing that you do when you get close to the end of transition is you, hang on. Did we get a winner for the iron flask? I'm sorry, I might have missed that. If not, Kate, go ahead and draw for the iron flask. Oh, Mary Jo got it. Okay, thank you. I'll write that down so I don't forget. Congratulations, Mary Jo. All right, so the first thing you need to do is determine your total energy expenditure, your TEE. I don't like the calculator that's on the Optavia site because, as I told you, whatever it gave me was really not right for me. I like the one that is on T as in Tom, D as in David, E as in Edward, E as in Edward. So TDEE calculator.net. Which one is that? That's these down here. So go to that one and figure out that will give you your macros along with your total number of calories. You can decide if you want high carb, medium carb, or low carb, and that will give you a good basis to start from. Then you're going to get some sort of an app. Fitbit works, MyFitnessPal. I like the Prosper app, Prospre. I told it what I wanted my macros to be, and every day as I enter the foods, it lets me know how much I've eaten, and then I can also plan ahead for the day, so I kind of know, if I know what I'm having for dinner, then I kind of know how to play around with if I need to have more protein, if I need to cut back on the carbs, then I kind of play around with it like that. I will go over the servings in just a minute, Robin. Thank you for asking. It's a great question. So as far as going from lean and greens to macros, as long as you have an app, then that is going to do all of the work for you to figure those things out. It will tell you how many grams of protein, how many grams of fat, how many grams of carbs. And as long as you know your maximums, then you can kind of keep things in line. So that's the best thing to do. I also, if you ever, and I'm not kidding, if you ever want to talk to me on the phone, somebody jokingly on Facebook today said, the prize they wanted was I should give away a consult. And I don't put a price on that. That's something that I freely give. If you need someone to talk you through, I'm happy to do that for you. So, let's, just hit me up, let's schedule a time, and I'm happy to do that. I am also going to, somebody asked me about my coaching experience. I've been a coach since October of 2022, but I didn't start taking clients until the beginning of last year. I am not a traditional coach. I don't push my clients to buy products that they don't need. I don't make my clients post pictures on social media. I have never once asked a client to be a coach. I am not in this as a business. I am in this as a ministry. So I just want to help people get healthy. And so that has been my experience as a coach. Am I the best coach? Probably not. I am forgetful and I am super busy. I work full time. I have a grandchild. Hang on. And so I don't always make the best use of my time, but I am trying this year to do better at that. Hopefully, thank you, Rebecca, even though I'm not your coach. I appreciate that. But I just want, for me, I just want to help people. Whether I make money off it or not doesn't matter. And I just want people to be successful. So that's my thoughts on that. And I just realized I didn't put the timer on for that, but I do need to set a timer for that. I'm like totally helpless when it comes to technology. Hence, that's why Kate's doing the drawing for me. All right, let me cut this. And so half of one of these would be, and let me talk about the macros. Half of one of these pizzas would be a complete lean and green. So this much would be a complete lean and green. I'm just going to cut a little tiny sliver off of it, because I'm going to try the other pizzas as well. But let me tell you about the macros for this one. So it's 1 lean, 3 greens, and 3 condiments for half of that pizza. If you are watching, if you're counting calories or macros, it is 314 calories. It is 32.79 grams of protein, 18.06 grams of fat, and 5.75 grams of carbohydrates. Now, I use a website called Happy Forks, and I input ingredients for a recipe, tell them how many servings, and it figures out the macros for me. So if I make a recipe, I can figure that out, and then I can go into Prosper and I can click add food and say chicken crust pizza and give it this information. And then the next time I have chicken crust pizza, it's already in there. I don't have to figure it out again, which is really nice. Happy Forks. Yes, Happy Forks. So here is the chicken crust veggie pizza. I'm going to give this a try. Oh, it's okay. To be honest, wasn't a fan of the chicken crust the last time. Really not a fan of it now. It's just not the texture that I like, I think. I mean, I'll eat it because it's nutrition. And that's what's most important to me, is that I provide my body with solid nutrition. And that's one thing that I really want to get across to people, is the value of the food that you put in your body. So many of us want fast and easy. We want to lose weight quickly. We want to lose weight and we want it just to stay off magically. And the weight is not going to magically stay off. It's going to take work for the weight to stay off, just as it's taking work for you to get the weight off in the first place. Oh, well, I appreciate that. I will say, Welling Addict, that transition and maintenance is my thing. Like, I love it. And I really connect to it. And that's my goal for this year, is just to really reach out to people who need help with that and take the fear out of it. Because I'm going to be in that 30% of people who keeps the weight off. It's not going to come back for me. So anyway, quality food. So let's talk about processed foods is something that people talk about a lot. Cauliflower crust that you buy at the store, turkey pepperoni, turkey sausage. I was recently watching a documentary on Netflix that is about twins. It's studying identical twins. And one of the first episodes, they said that processed meats, deli meats, sausage, preformed patties, bacon, pepperoni is one of the leading carcinogens. Like, why, if we know that, why would we want to eat that? And so the easiest thing to do is make your own sausage. Get ground pork, get ground turkey, get ground venison, add some seasonings to it, make your own, and know that you're not putting in those additives that are going to be harmful to your body. As far as, Optavia doesn't approve Rayo's and outer aisles sandwich thins and all those things. They'll tell you they don't approve those things. They want you to make your own. The reason why, there's a couple of reasons. One reason is there's no way they can keep track of all of the companies and all of their products. And so it's easier for Optavia to say, we don't put our stamp of approval on any processed products. Buy whole lean proteins, buy whole vegetables, learn how to cook, those kinds of things, and stay away from the processed foods. Save those for maintenance, right? While you're trying to lose weight, you're eating so few calories that it's so important that the calories you put in your body are of the highest quality. And processed foods, whether it is a meat or a sandwich thin or I don't know, whatever it is that other people, those miracle noodles, whatever, don't have the quality nutritional value that your body needs. So they want you to learn how to cook. They want you to learn how food should taste before you are off on your own and just falling right back into the same old habits that you were in before. Yeah, it was a little terrifying, and I only watched the first couple of episodes. I need to go back and watch more of it, but it was a little bit scary. All right, let's talk about the macros for the cauliflower supreme pizza. Again, if you're on 5-in-1, it is 1 lean, 3 greens, and 3 condiments for the entire pizza. It has 365 calories, 49.44 grams of protein, 13.02 grams of fat, and 13.13 grams of carbs. Before I give you the macros for the spinach crust, I will say that if you look in the Optavia app, you can find a recipe conversion chart that will tell you a lean and green meal should have between 250 and 400 calories. It should have at least 25 grams of protein. The more the merrier as far as the protein goes. It should not have any more than 20 grams of fat. And grab that other pizza out. And I think, I can't remember what the amount of carbs. I think the carbs is 20 is like the max they want you to have. Oh my gosh, these look so good. The spinach one is my absolute favorite. All right, so I don't know if you can see this or not, but these are that's the venison that has the mushrooms and the peppers, and then this is my green pizza. And I'm going to give it a second to cool before I cut into it. So 250 to 400 calories, at least 25 grams of protein, no more than 20 grams of fat, 15 is ideal, and ideally no more than, maybe it's 25 grams of carbohydrates is the most. That might be what it is, but don't quote me on that one. I can't remember what the carbs is. The zucchini crust pizza is on the high end. And anytime that you do anything that has a lot of cheese in it, it's going to be high. I've had a few people ask me to do a veggie lasagna, and anytime I run a veggie lasagna recipe through Happy Forks, it's too many calories, it's too much fat, it's too many carbs, it just is a lot. So this one is a little bit on the high end, so be ready. You're not supposed to have more than 400 calories. This one has 465, so it is high in calories. It has 42.75 grams of protein, so that's awesome. It's almost twice the amount of protein that you should have. 20 grams of fat, so it's at the top end of the fat. And it's 21 grams of carbs, so it's at the top end of the carbs. So this is one that I would not do all the time, but it's close enough that we're going to call it good. At least I am. So I'm going to run my pizza cutter through these and just do a little piece of each one. And they're super hot, so I can do it without burning my mouth. Because I want you to see right now, the crust is very flexible. It's very floppy. But if you let this sit for 10 minutes or so, you're going to want it to cool off somewhat anyway. If you let it sit for a little while, it will firm up and you would be able to pick it up and eat it by holding it without too much trouble. I'm going to grab a fork. And I have an asbestos mouth because I was a baker and a cook, so I'm used to tasting hot things. I'm going to save the green one for last because it's my absolute favorite. This one has mushrooms and peppers and venison, a little bit of red pepper flakes. It is hot. So good. Those red pepper flakes really add good flavor. And the green one, delicious. If you like spinach, it doesn't taste like cottage cheese at all. It's almost like Alfredo. If you are not on 5-in-1, add some garlic, some fresh garlic to that cottage cheese or garlic powder. And that will make almost like a spinach Alfredo kind of pizza. It's absolutely delicious. It will air pretty much immediately. I don't have to upload it. It's like, I think it will just automatically show up when I end the stream. All right. We are going to do one more. It is very cold where I am. It was in the single digits at some point today, and we got 6 inches of snow on Monday. Today's Tuesday. Yesterday, we got 6 inches of snow. I did not sleep well last night because I was so nervous about this today. All right, we are going to do one more drawing, and then if you have any questions, leave those in the comments box or go to when the video posts. I would love it if you would watch it again and like and comment. Encourage your friends and family to become subscribers because I would love to hit that 5,000 mark and give away some fun stuff. But we're going to give away this electric kettle, and I absolutely love that. It's a tool that I use all the time. Awesome. So Kate's going to draw for that last one for me, and if anybody has any questions, let me know. Well, Sally, maybe you'll win it. We'll see. The kettle came from Amazon. It's Amazon Basics. It's like $30. It's worth every penny. I gotta get off here so I can eat my dinner too. I don't. I probably should have one. That's one of those things that just because I'm mentally not like I'm in this for a business and I'm trying to make money. I probably should set that up with my favorites, but I haven't done that. I use the tea kettle for water for tea, for my oatmeal. When I was on 5-in-1, I would use it for my soups and pasta and chili, all kinds of good stuff. Yay, I'm so glad. Was that helpful to everybody? I know that I asked everybody what they wanted most, and pretty much everybody said pizza. So hopefully that was helpful to see them made. And honestly, we were here for over an hour, but typically I spend, a couple of hours and make 14 crusts, and then they're in the freezer so that when I go to make pizza for dinner, I pull it out of the freezer, and in 20 minutes I have dinner. I just throw the toppings on and throw it in the oven. In less than 20 minutes I have dinner. So definitely batch make them on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon. Just make a bunch, stick them in the freezer. They're super easy. Once you do it a couple of times, that's all you need. All right, Kate, let me know who the winner is for the tea kettle. No, there's a button, so it sits on this little, so this thing plugs into the wall. This sits on there, and you just push this down, and when it's on there, it will heat up, and when it's boiling, that automatically turns off, which is really nice. So if I turn it on and I forget that I've turned it on and I go take a shower, then it'll boil and it will be turned off by the time I get out of the shower, which is a bummer sometimes, but it heats up pretty quickly. It's pretty fast. Yes, all my knuckleheads. And Cindy, it's so nice to see you. It really is. I'm glad to see you back. Miss seeing you. All right, Kate's spinning the wheel. The winner is going to be... The suspense is killing me. Oh, you're kidding. Anna Mae, aren't you lucky? Anna Mae in Wisconsin. Yay. So Anna Mae and Mary Jo and Kathy, just send me an email. Let me know your mailing address and I will get your gifts off to you. I'm really excited that I was able to do that. And, you know, I do make a little money off of YouTube, so it's just a way of me giving back. And as I always say, I am your coach for free. For most of you, there's a few of you on here who are my clients, but for the most part, most of you are you just get me for free, and I am happy to do that. And I'm always happy to have conversations. I have had people all the time who say, "Can I just call you and you know, whatever, share with you what I'm thinking or get some advice?" And you know, I'm not trying to steal anybody's clients. I do this out of the kindness of my heart. And, you know, you stick with your coach and love on your coach. But, you know, if you need a little extra support, I'm here to do that for you. Thank you, Sue. And, yeah, so the recording will be posted. Hope that you will enjoy it. I gotta eat and wash some dishes. So I will see you guys at another point. I hope that you guys have a wonderful evening. Always leave questions if you have them. And as I always say, until I see you next time, please live in the light. Bye, guys. Oops.